As I'm sure you can probably tell by the title, thumbnail, all the things for this video, we are going to be counting up and going through every single book on my physical TBR. I'm a little nervous. My guess, it's a pretty educated guess, but I would say it's probably 160 to 170, give or take. But I'm excited to go through them. I am taking a lot of inspiration from Becca in the Books, and Covers with Cassidy. I love both of those creators so much, and they give me so much inspiration. It's actually both of them that made me want to decide to start a channel. So get in some comfy clothes, grab a drink. This is a Dr. Pepper diet, well, it's a Dr. Pepper Zero with cherry, one of my favorites, and let's get into it. As you can kind of see, my shelves are looking a little bare right now, and that's because all of my owned TBR is down here. Starting with nonfiction, Asada by Asada Shakur, A Promised Land by Barack Obama, large print edition, that's why it's so big. Codependent No More by Melody Beatty, Band of Brothers by Stephen E. Ambrose, Fire in the Hole by Robert G. Callahan II, The Case Against Reality, Why Evolution Hid the Truth from Our Eyes by Donald Hoffman. This one is kind of special because this is the last thing I gave my grandfather, and he started it, never finished it, and I get to keep his bookmark in the place where he left off. So yeah. The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher, Dead Wake, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania by Eric Larson, Women, Race, and Class by Angela Davis, Jesus vs. John Wayne by Kristen Kobes Dumez. Sorry if I butchered that. Evicted by Matthew Desmond, The Rise of Theodore Roosevelt by Edmund Morris, The Three Mothers by Anna Malika Tubbs, and Black AF History by Michael Harriot. Okay, the next section is classics and modern classics, and a few random ones that I didn't know where to put them exactly. So, The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, Walden or Life in the Woods by Henry David Thoreau, The Maine Woods by Henry David Thoreau, Othello, The Merchant of Venice, Henry IV, and Antony and Cleopatra, all by Shakespeare. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway, Midwives by Chris Bojalian? I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry. This is a random collection of poetry by Robert Browning. The Mill on the Floss by George Eliot, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, Into the Wild by John Krakauer, Snows of Kilimanjaro and Other Stories by Ernest Hemingway, The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I have one poetry collection. Yesterday I Was the Moon by Noor Unahar. And then I have a few graphic novels. Typically whenever I get graphic novels or manga, I read them pretty quickly. Some of them, these ones, I don't. Rat Queens Volume 1 by Curtis J. Weeb and Rock Upchurch. The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jin Wang. Check Please Volume 1 by Ngozi Ukazu. Lumberjanes Volume 1 by Stevenson, Ellis, Waters, and Allen. Death Note Volume 1 by Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata. And then lastly in this section we have In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jin Wong. The Hunting Wives by Mary Cobb. The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Raybourn. Stone Maidens by Lloyd Devereaux Richards. Final Girls by Riley Sager. The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Yemedi. I butchered that and I'm so sorry. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. The Guest List by Lucy Foley. A Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Next is a very random mix. So we have just general fiction, historical fiction, lit fic, I think at least one, dark academia, some random ones, I don't know. Okay, but let's start. Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Delirium by Lauren Oliver. If We Were Villains by Emil Rio. The Cartographers by Penn Shepard. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. The Great Alone and Firefly Lane, both by Kristen Hanna. City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. Loveless by Alice Oseman. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. And Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler. Next we have the 3 books that I'm currently in the middle of. We have The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes and Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. The Appeal by Janice Hallett. City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer and Annie Barrows. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. Wild Card by Elsie Silver. Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Good Boy and The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. Ricochet by Becca and Krista Ritchie. You with a View by Jessica Joyce. Picking Daisies on Sundays by Liana Sincotti. Good Spirits by BK Borison. Before We Were by Monique Medved. Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. Blackest Red by P.T. Michelle. Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. The Finish Line by Kate Stewart. Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. The Season of Second Chances by Christina McMorris and Tammy Greenwood. Majesty and Rivals in the same series by Catherine McGee. The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. Once More with Feeling and Funny You Should Ask by Alyssa Sussman. The huge stack next to me, you guessed it, it's fantasy and fantasy romance. Let's get into it. The Wicked King by Holly Black. Long Live Evil by Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. Light Lark by Alex Astor. Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yaros. The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. Belladonna by Adeline Grace. The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. The Foxglove King by Hannah Witten. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And finally, the last book. Did you guess it was this many? The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson.